We're finally back with some modded Minecraft. I know it's been quite a while, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to do a whole episode without making any breaks. I'm just going to record everything I do, and it'll probably be kind of a short video, but I'm mainly going to talk a little bit about what we plan on doing in this series and some of that. So the next main goals, I think, is going to be figuring out some form of power generation. And if you haven't seen any of the other videos or anything, or what we have already, then check those out. Alright. So this is that blaze spawner we saw earlier, and there is a way to move it, but I would have to go back to my portal, back to the overworld, and get some equipment first. So yeah, I don't have much of a plan with this episode, and I think that may be a kind of good thing for me, because a lot of times I'd spend an hour and a half, 2 hours playing to feel like I accomplished a lot in an episode, and that would be just for one episode. So this, I'm going to try to record everything I do and not worry about getting a ton of stuff done. So I'm going to explore this, don't want to fall down in there, this nether fortress a bit here. Probably use my hang glider and fly around some. It's been a while since I've played, so I can't remember exactly where on the fortress I started. So I'm going to go this way and just see if I can find any more loot. So that's probably where I got my my nether wart there, so I can hear blazes. Let's see, maybe down here. So there's a lot of different ways to generate power in modded Minecraft. Oh. You might not have been able to see that, but I took out a wither skeleton. Let's see if he dropped anything. Just a bone and a sword. Anyways, there's a lot of different ways to generate power. One of the, I don't know if you consider it less creative ways or whatever, but to hook up a type of a pump in here, and basically there's a type of liquid tank that acts like an ender chest, and so it can transmit, or you can pump something into it while you're in one dimension and get it out from another. So you can pump lava into it and then get it out in the overworld to generate power with. So that's one way you can generate power. Another way is to actually build a nuclear reactor of some form. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I think you can generate steam and turn a turbine, or a turbine, however you want to pronounce that. And there's also some just straight reactors that generate it. So there's a couple of different ways there. I can also do some solar energy stuff, but biggest thing with that is it doesn't work at night. So you'd have to figure out some way to either generate enough during the day that you don't have to worry about the night, or make sure you sleep every night so you don't run out of energy, that type thing. But most of the let's see if we got this chest. But most of the solar generation and stuff like that, just a little bit of gold, really isn't. It's pretty expensive to build all the equipment and everything, and it takes quite a while to craft enough to where it would be able to generate power to run, say, a AE system or something. So that's kind of one of the issues with using solar. The other thing is, for some types of generators, so one type I wouldn't mind using is, I think it's Extra Utilities, adds some certain types of generators which you can make, and then you can make basically X8 and X64 versions of them. So if you take 8 of them and craft them with a energy transfer node, then you can do an X8, and if you take 8 of the X8s and combine those, then you can get an X64, which can generate quite a bit of energy very quick. But there's a slight problem with that, and that is you need a lot of ender pearls. So in order to craft the energy transfer node, you have to build a QED, which requires a lot of ender pearls to make, and some Eye of Enders and things like that. That's part of the reason I'm getting these blaze rods, is for ender eyes. So we would really, before we were really able to make many of those and have a good system set up for that, then we would really need to go to the end first. And I haven't found it yet in my overworld. But again, just another option. Did I run out of... What happened? That's weird. It froze for a second or something. Where'd you... I know he's under me. So let's do this. There he is. And hit one piece of coal. Not worth too much. See, I'm still hoping for some more necrotic bones. When I get back, I can craft the red heart canister. It'd be kind of neat to have. Another thing I'm having to be careful of while I'm exploring is, if you look at the top left, I've only got 25% left in my jetpack. So I probably ought to make my way back soon. And I'm glad I marked my portal. That's 700 blocks away almost. So let's actually go ahead and make our way back. So I'm going to do a little marker here, so I can mark this blaze spawner. There we go. That way I can come back and find it whenever I come back into the nether. Alright, let's see if we can find an easy way out without using a ton of power from my jetpack. So I know I'll be gliding most of the way. Now, one thing about wearing the jetpack is, unless you turn it off, which is kind of a dangerous thing to do in the nether, then you use a little bit of energy out of it when you just go upstairs. It's kind of irritating, but it's normally not too bad. So another thing I'm going to talk a little bit about that's kind of irritating for me is, shortly after I bought my Xbox One, Activision made a deal with Sony, or with specifically PlayStation, to give exclusivity for Call of Duty to PlayStation instead of Microsoft's Xbox. So that means that if you're on PlayStation, you get all the DLCs first, and you get the betas first for Call of Duty, which makes it really hard for me doing YouTube, or trying to do YouTube. It's really hard to cover content first. And actually, I'm going to stop right here and get some of these resources, since I'm fairly close already. So it makes it kind of hard, and I really don't know anybody that plays PlayStation. None of my friends are on PlayStation. They're all on Xbox. So it didn't make any sense for me to get a PlayStation, and I really honestly can't afford one. I don't make any money right now at doing this, so it doesn't make sense for me to get a PlayStation 4. So basically, I'm kind of stuck releasing content, especially with the DLCs and stuff. I'll probably get the season pass for Infinite Warfare. But it makes it kind of hard because I'll be releasing footage and stuff of the DLCs about a month behind most of the major YouTubers. So at that point, to most people, it's not even relevant gameplay or information. And I just realized that I'm under my portal. So I might have to figure out a way to get up high. It's probably right up there. So which button was that? Alright. I'll figure it out. I was going to try to figure out how to turn my jetpack off real quick so I didn't use anything going up this part right here. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating. Come on now. 11, 10. Alright, now which way is it? And we're still low, I think. Unless it's, yep, it's right over here. So anyways, that's one thing that's kind of irritating about it. I almost wish they would just release everything at the same time and not have one of those you help us, we'll help you kind of things. And it's all about money and everything like that for both companies. PlayStation gets a lot more people, and you make more PlayStation users happy with getting Call of Duty since they get it first. And I don't know, I haven't looked at any stats on the difference between the numbers on PlayStation and the numbers on Xbox. And I know a lot of people would be a few people would be really pleased if it went to PC. A lot of PC players, I think, are really disappointed with the way Call of Duty treats the PC community and things like that. Let's go ahead and back home. Alright. So, I'm going to probably sort out my inventory here in just a second. And you'll see it takes quite a while for this all to load back into the overworld. Alright, but I'm going to go ahead and end this off here. It's kind of a mini episode. It's not really long or anything like that. We're back in the overworld. Alright. Anyways, this is Stonewall signing off, and I will see you in another video.